There is no other way to see what happened on January 6th other than for what it was, a heinous and violent attack on our Capitol and on our very democracy by a mob of Donald Trump supporters with the clear intention of trying to forcibly keep a losing, outgoing president in power. That is, unless you're a Republican who has embraced the insurrectionists' cause, trying to turn rioters into patriots and heroes, and an attempt to overthrow an election into a movement. We learned yesterday from Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene that House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is poised to hand over the January 6th security videos, the same 40,000 hours of footage that he gave to now-fired former Fox host Tucker Carlson earlier this year, to even farther right conspiracy theorist Trump allies. I guess Tuckums wasn't able to do the job of lionizing the insurrectionists well enough, so McCarthy is letting new people take a crack at it. You also have the two leading Republican presidential candidates talking about pardoning some of those very insurrectionists if either wins next year. Trump even recorded a song with some of the jailed January 6 rioters and played it during at least one of his presidential rallies. So it is no wonder that we continue to see protests in support of those insurrectionists, including outside the D.C. jail, where many of them are being held. The latest one, on Memorial Day, was rife with conspiracy theories, including that U.S. Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, who died after responding on January 6th, was actually killed by the Capitol Police and not as a result of the insurrectionists bear spraying and assaulting him. Join me now is Sandra Garza, longtime partner of Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, who did die in the aftermath of the January 6th violence. Sandra, it's always good to see you. I just have to get your reaction to that protest on, of all days, Memorial Day, that had these people lionizing the insurrectionists.
First of all, it was very shocking to me. I just could not believe that they would be that brazen to even make a statement like that. Clearly, Brian, his poor body, was stressed to the limit that day because of the actions of what they all did that day. So it was very shocking. It was staggering. And it was really, really upsetting to me. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And I actually was notified about all of this because I created a Twitter account, finally. And there are some good people out there and on Twitter, and they notified me of all of this. And because I never would have known about it had they not notified me of this, and they sent me some links in the videos. Yeah. And that's actually how I learned about it. But I was shocked. I was really shocked, Joy.
I mean, some of the images you see, they've taken Brian Sicknick's face, Officer Sicknick's face, and put it on a sign claiming he was killed by the police. I mean, first of all, it is an affront to the Capitol Police officers who were the heroes to try to claim that he was killed by a fellow police officer. They're also walking around with signs with Ashley Babbitt. Doing the same thing. And I want to just play what Donald Trump said today, talking about Ashley Babbitt.
They shot Ashley Babbitt for no reason whatsoever. They shot a thug. He was a thug who shot her. And it's a disgrace. The way they've treated those people is... and everywhere I go, somebody brings up the whole J6 situation. The way they've treated those people. You watch what happens. You watch what happens.
And I will note that the officer who shot Ashley Babbitt because she was trying to smash into the speaker's lounge is African-American, because so we know that Donald Trump reserves the term thug for black folks normally. But Ashley Babbitt's mother was also at that protest. Here she is striking a counter-protester and smashing her megaphone. I think we have video of that or a photo of it, for which she was arrested on Tuesday and charged with simple assault and destruction of property. That's the mother of Ashley Babbitt. At this stage, she is also being held up as some sort of a hero. How do you respond to that?
Well, first of all, there's no excuse for violence, period. I don't excuse her actions at all. Obviously, I feel bad for her. She's a grieving mother. She lost her daughter. But there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that at all. She needs to pull it together, and regardless of what her personal feelings are, that's not okay. She can't be out there attacking people. I feel she is being used as a political pawn. I feel she's being lied to by Donald Trump and others. So I do feel bad for her in that regard, but there is no excuse for her to be hitting people and attacking people.